And I'm Kevin Davis in person. We're actually in person today, Kevin, the president of Kevin Davis Insurance, and Kevin and I are doing the webinar together. We haven't done a webinar together in person probably in 3 years.
In 3 years. First time, and I am happy. First of all, great seeing you again. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Everything. How you doing?
Doing great, doing great.
And you flew in this morning?
Flew in last night.
Okay.
Late last night, and we're having our holiday party today for the first time in 3 years, 2 or 3 years, I think. So yeah, so it's great that things are kind of coming back to normal, and Kevin, with this time of year is so much fun usually, but it also is stressful.
Yes.
And people are trying to do everything perfect and trying to get everything done and trying to get their shopping, and now the parties are back.
Yep.
So today is a great day to talk about this topic. And I know you're trained to do this. You have training from UCLA, from the Mindfulness Institute. So Kevin is an expert in mindfulness. So he's going to help share some tools that we can use to manage kind of, return to normal with holiday stress. Really.
Exactly, Sherry. And again, it is great doing this again. I've done this every year now for probably the last, 4 or 5 years. I've been a mindfulness facilitator trained at UCLA for the past 5 years now. And every year we look at these time periods and say, wow, they're stressful. And again, why is it so stressful? Listen, you got to prepare your meal. You're your husband, right? You got to worry about his meals. You worry about are you having family coming by?
Yeah.
Family.
Holiday party. Yeah. At my house.
And it's a lot of stuff. Now, this is the key thing that people don't understand is that this is that one time a year where we have to take action. Where we have to do something. Most of the time of the year, we can sit back but now we have to make an effort to do a good job.
Right.
To not to fail.
Right.
To not to be wrong. And that's where the problem comes into play, because what we want for the first time in our lives, we want it a lot of times, but boy, this time we want perfection. We want perfection. We want to have the perfect meal, the perfect gift, the perfect friends, relatives to come by. And guess what? There is no perfection.
Right. That's the pressure that we put on ourselves to be perfect. So we have all that additional stress along with getting everything done.
Yes. And what happens, what we do is that since there is no perfection, what we do is we blame, we judge, and we criticize everybody else, right?
Right.
First thing we do, we blame the people who, didn't show up right, didn't bring the things they should have done. We judge and we criticize. And what that does, and the reason why we do that is because we don't want to be humiliated or embarrassed. And so when we want perfection, and it's not perfect, and people are looking at us and judging us because it's not perfect, then what happens to us, we feel bad, we are embarrassed, we humiliate in front of all these people. So we blame them, we criticize them for not doing their part correctly. And we do that. And that's what causes stress from us. But the worst part about it to me is that now, so we talk about this self-criticism part of it. Because now when they start blaming us, we start judging ourselves. And if we start judging ourselves, that is the most discomforting thing there is.
Right. And it could ruin the holidays for you and it's supposed to be a fun and joyous time and happy time. And, instead we're stressed out.
And again, we're stressed out because of that self-judgment part of it. We will sit down there and we will criticize ourselves and say that we're not good enough, we're not worthy of this, and we're not set out to be doing this thing, and why I have all this pressure myself. And in times we should be enjoying the holiday, in times we should be really celebrating and really feel overwhelmed with joy. We're not. We are stressed. And we're stressed and we're worried. And we have things like guilt and shame that deal with us, And I tell you, when we start talking about things like guilt and shame, it does overwhelm us because, first of all, guilt is bad in itself because shame is like the worst part about it. And the difference between guilt and shame is this. I can feel guilty because I did something bad. Shame is I am bad. And that's the difference.
Absolutely. We get the perfect toy. That movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger comes to mind where he's running around the city trying to find that one toy, and that pressure, that guilt. Absolutely.
You have children You don't have them, but we remember trying to find that perfect gift and how
Yes.
much energy it
I've been,
takes.
he's made his Christmas list already. He wants me to mail it to Santa.
And that's funny. And again, the problem is that because of the perfection, the weight of it bothers us. The weight of it creates a problem for us to the point where we can't enjoy it. And I tell you what, we're gonna do a little experiment right now to show you what this should feel like. Okay, how it should feel like. So let's just get comfortable in our seats, and we're gonna just close our eyes for a second. We're gonna take a deep breath in and exhale. Okay. And we're going to bring to mind just what happened last week when we had Thanksgiving. We're sitting around the table and we're having a great Thanksgiving experience. We have family, we have friends there, we have the meal in front of us right now, and we're giving thanks because of all the things that happened in that one period of time, and everything worked out pretty good. Last week ended up being a pretty decent week for most of it. We're going to imagine the people that were there that we wanted to see, and they showed up. The people who were there that brought the things, the dessert that they should have brought by. The meal was done as well as could be done. And we're going to just feel how that moment was right now. Okay, now we're going to just open our eyes back up. And that was how we should be feeling for the next 4 weeks, right? Until Christmas, we should be feeling that same way.
Relax.
Yeah, relaxed. And that's what mindfulness is. We just experienced a mindfulness moment.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, it just took all the worry and all the anxiety out of planning for the next holiday.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, of course, you worry before Thanksgiving as well, and you're worried about, is the meal going to come out okay? Did I remember everything? Do I have all the desserts? Do I have everything that you need? And then at the end of the day, even if one thing was forgotten, it went great.
And see, during the holidays, and what happens more so than any other time is anxiety grows. And what anxiety does, difference between depression and anxiety. Depression is worrying about something that happened in the past. Anxiety is worrying about something in the future. Now, today, most people are looking back at Thanksgiving and having a pretty good Thanksgiving. Now, the anxiety up to Thanksgiving was a mess.
Right.
So now, if I do this the day after Christmas or day after New Year's, I'm going to say, wow, we had a great time. Because right now, from today on, we're going to be very anxious for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Because again, we have to get the perfect meal again, the perfect gift, and it makes it difficult.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was fantastic. That was really good. I think visualizing how good things can be or were just immediately lowers your blood pressure, your anxiety level, your overall just concern, and you just immediately calm down.
And that's what mindfulness is. When we talk about the definition of mindfulness, it is the ability to be in the present moment. And once you're in this present moment with curiosity and openness, things can happen. And that's what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is that ability to just at this one point in time to know we're in the present moment. Because most of the time we're not.
Right.
I mean, you flew here last night, right?
Yeah.
Now, most of the time, you're getting ready. Exactly. And you're worried about getting here on time. Yeah. And so you spend most of your time daydreaming, right? You're worrying, planning, and wondering if you did this right, not right. Well, what happens though, your body is always in the present moment. Even though your brain is worried about the future or worried about the past, your body's in the present moment. When everything aligns perfectly, you can make better decisions. You're not reacting to certain things, and you're being more reflective. So you're not worried about having a perfect gift. You're worried about getting a nice gift for your nephew.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And that's the difference with mindfulness. I calmed you down just enough that you able can say, okay, I can do A, B, and C now, as opposed to reacting. Because most of the times we're constantly reacting to thoughts in our brains, but our brain's always telling us to do something. And what mindfulness does, it allows us to take a step back and to just relax a little bit so that we can be able to make better decisions.
And not get overwhelmed with multitasking.
That's it.
To do 50 things at once.
You still can do those things, but you're not overwhelmed by it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're calmer about it.
Exactly.
Control.
So now there's 2 aspects of mindfulness. Okay. The first aspect of it is mindfulness meditation, kind of what we just did. And we're going to do a real one in a few minutes, real mindfulness meditation. And so let's talk about meditation itself, and then we'll talk about the second. Meditation is when you're sitting still. It's not emptying your brain, because your brain, you can't empty.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to go, oh,
Yeah.
did I remember this? Did I
Yeah.
do that? I got to call this person.
And the reason why it does that, because our brains are designed to do one thing: solve problems. That's all it does: solve problems all the time. So if you're at work and you're putting together, or you're flying out here, you're putting together your flight plans, and you're on the plane, your brain's done that job. So now it's looking for something else to do. Now, if you don't give it something else to do, it's going to, guess what? Have anxiety over the next 48 hours. Or it's going to have anxiety, or it's going to be worried about what happened in the past, which causes depression. Like, I should have done this better. I didn't do this right. So what happens is that when we in this present moment, we are open to different things happening at different things. For me, the perfect example is like, you know LA traffic. You lived here for a long time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
that's anxiety right there.
It's anxiety. And anxiety is a lot of it's created because of I'm not in the present moment. Right. Most of the time I'm driving traffic, the radio is on, I'm listening to the news, or I'm worried about when I get to work, do I think project like this? Yeah, exactly. Traffic jams, it's backed up on the 405, and it's usually you remember that. Yeah. But what happens at always a point in time when you're driving, when you become aware of what's happening, either a big truck gonna come by you, or you have to turn off, and that's where that awareness happens. Your brain, your body's all in sync together, and so you make better decisions.
Absolutely.
So that's mindfulness. That is what mindfulness is. And with meditation, what it does, it calms the body down. Okay, quiets the mind so you can make better decisions. Because most of the time our minds are actively really active, overactive. Yes.
Yeah.
And we lay down at night and it's keep moving and keep moving.
People have insomnia because of that.
Exactly.
Worrying about what they have to do tomorrow, or the next day, or their list of things.
And what mindfulness does, quiets the mind. And that's what we'll be doing in a few minutes.
Okay.
Now, part 2 of mindfulness is just being mindful of what you do. Just be in the present moment as much as possible. Okay. Perfect example, when you go shopping. You go shopping for Thanksgiving, right?
Yes.
You have to buy. Do you have a list?
Yes.
Okay, good. And that's being mindful.
Yes.
Having lists is mindful. Yes.
I don't have a list. It's
I know.
20 trips.
And your husband never goes have a list. He comes back with all the wrong things, right?
Of course. One item.
Exactly. And that's the difference is it's by being mindful. When we go shopping, my wife will send me shopping. If she tells me to get 5 things, right? If I'm mindful, I bring back all 5 things. But usually, historically, I bring back 1 thing she wanted and 4 things that I want. Okay? And it's probably the wrong thing. She'll tell me to buy whole wheat bread, and I'll buy multi-grain bread or regular bread. But that's why when you are mindful, you go into and you'll be focused in on what you should be getting and what you should be doing. Even though your brain is telling you to do 10 different things, because you're gonna like, potato chips more than you like carrot sticks. Okay. Right. And your mind will go to the carrot. You'll forget all about the carrot sticks and go right for that. The perfect example for me is like when I'm in New York City. I go to New York City, I'm on 42nd Street in New York City. Now, if you've ever been in 42nd Street in New York City, it has subways underneath of it. There's the A, the B, the C, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 7,
all the trains.
and the S. Okay. So now,
busy.
What our mind does is that if I don't stay focused in on what I want to do, if I'm going to go across town, okay, from 42nd Street to the Grand Central, I know to take the S train, okay? And so I have to focus in on it. But I don't focus in on it. I get the first train I go on, I don't know where I'm going to end up. And that's what we do in our thoughts, in our brains. Our ability to stay focused is the key to mindfulness.
That's a great tip.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, the one thing I want to be able to do is that we're going to do the one tool. The best tool for mindfulness tool is a tool called stop. Okay. So we're talking about that train, getting on the train. Okay, getting on the right train. So I'm down there at the station, right? If I don't focus in and use stop, and stop is the STOP. The S is just stop.
Okay.
Don't do anything. Stop. Don't react and get on the first train, you
Mhm.
stop,
Just slow down.
slow down.
Yeah.
The second thing is take a breath.
Okay.
Just wait, take a breath. Observe not so much what's going on, but observe what you're feeling right now. Okay. Observe what's happening in your body. Is there any tension and sensations in there? Because that way, because it stops you from reacting. Because we right now we want to react to the first train. This is my train, and we always react. This is my train, and you feel it. But wait a minute. Why am I so tense? Why am I like that? Okay, and then you can proceed. You proceed. You're not reacting. You just want to be more reflective of what you do. You still will do it. You still make those decisions.
You're not rushing.
You're not
rushing.
exactly.
You're not impulsive.
Exactly.
You're not jumping on it.
And most of the time, what we're doing is we are reacting. When we're at work, okay, when we're buying gifts, I always think about, I got to buy it. I got it. We're reacting to certain things. So you take a few minutes and just stop.
Slow down.
Slow it down. Take a breath. Observe what's happening around you. Why are you rushing? Why you have time? And then you can proceed in a more reflective. Yeah.
Great. Fantastic.
So that's the one mindfulness tool to stay stress free.
That's great. Grateful because, like you said, we are going in a million directions, and our minds are going in a million directions. So just by slowing down, you're able to still get everything done, but you're able to do it in a calm, easy way without making mistakes and without getting so stressed out about it.
Yeah. It's the holiday season. We will be very, very stressed out over the next several weeks. Anxiety will be the number one factor is going to be in our lives.
Right.
It's going to be in all of our lives for the next 4 or 5 weeks. When January come in, you're going to look back at it. You're going to say, oh, well, I really overworked. Or you're going to be mindful about it and say, you know what? It worked out really well.
Great. Yeah.
It's the awareness factor. So now what we're going to do, we're going to meditate for about 5 minutes here.
Okay.
Now, what meditation is, okay, it is focusing in on something that is neutral.
Okay.
Something that doesn't have a judgment to it.
Okay.
And what we normally do is use the breath.
Okay.
Because you inhale, you exhale, you just focus your attention on the breath. Okay. For example, I tell you to focus your attention right now on my hand. Okay. I say, just focus your energy on my hand. It's boring. No matter what I do on here, you can still stay focused on that hand. No matter what, I can stretching or anything, but you maintain the focus on that hand. And that way, the more you stay focused on it, the more your brain starts to calm.
Okay.
Now, the issue is that your brain will want to do something else while you're doing it.
Okay. Right. That's yeah. I tried to be honest. I tried to meditate before, and I start thinking about, ooh, I've got to do this.
Yes.
Yeah. That's I think the challenging part. I think to actually for 5 minutes to calm down and not think about a million things.
But that's the key, though. The key is for mindfulness. It's awareness.
Right.
But as soon as you're aware that you're thinking something, or you are imagining something, or you worry about something, you go, there it is, and then you bring it back to the breath.
Okay.
That's the secret.
Okay. So when the mind starts to go off to, I have to go this later on, and bring it back.
Bring it back.
Okay.
And that's the difference. Again, just think about the things you've done to get here, right? Your mind constantly wanders. With mindfulness, you go, wait a minute, why am I worried about that? You redirect your attention to the breath.
Okay.
So as we go through life, we'll be stressed out, we'll be worried about certain things. As soon as we become aware that we're doing that, we stop and we bring it back to something neutral that doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay,
so that's what I was wondering about. What is the key to it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To actually making it work.
Yeah. Because your brain wants to solve problems.
Right.
And so if you're sitting back there looking at my hand, it's bored. Okay, your hand is not even an attractive looking hand. It's just a regular hand. But you can stay focused on it to a point in time where you go, okay, your mind has to look around and do something else. The moment your mind looks around and something else, wait a minute, I'm taking my mind off of it, and now we're going.
Okay. So it's the neutralness.
It's the neutralness. It has or sounds.
Okay.
Like the heater will come on. Focusing, there's no good sound or bad. It's just a sound, neutral sound.
Right.
Or touching your feet to the floor. So like right now, if you touch your feet to the floor, right now you noticing your feet is touching the floor, you're in the present moment. Your mind's not wandering. It's not trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist.
I see. So it's taking the focus off that mind going in a million directions.
Exactly. And just think, if you are anxious, If you're worried, if you are thinking all these things, all of a sudden you go, wait a minute, I am worried. Let me bring it my attention. Let me redirect my attention from worrying to right now of focusing in on something that's neutral. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like right now, we can look at the sky and say there's clouds in the sky.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's a pretty thing to look at.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
And so what happens is, again, it puts you in that present moment. The key for meditation is to stay in the present moment. The longer you stay in it, the quieter your mind gets. Okay. So now we're going to try it.
Okay.
The thing is going to happen. A couple things that may happen. Hopefully, it won't happen to you. One will get sleepy and you'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wake me up.
Yeah. It happens, and it happens for one reason, because we're all sleep deprived.
Yeah.
Everybody's sleep deprived.
Yes.
So you will feel like sleepy. You might have the best nap you have for the next 5 minutes. Don't worry, as long as you don't snore, we're good. Okay.
I start snoring just
Yep. Yep. The second problem you have, and you said it loud and clear, is doubt. You have doubt that you're doing it right way. And that's the biggest problem we have, because wait a minute, my mind is still thinking. And yes, your mind, you can't turn it off. It's not switch where people say that when you meditate, you turn off your brain. No, your brain will always want something to do, and it always will be bored, just sitting there thinking about your breath.
Right.
And so your mind will wander, and all you can do is just bring it back to the breath. As you get used to doing that in 5 minutes a day, it gets better and easier and easier. And when you sleep at night and your brain's going 100 miles an hour, you go, wait a minute, why am I doing that? Redirect those thoughts to something that's neutral, and you'll be asleep in seconds.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. Help you sleep at night and deal with stress. And not only the holidays, every other stressful situation that we deal with.
Exactly.
Yeah, with life in general.
Yeah. Going to work every day.
Right.
You got the clients calling you up, wanting things.
Lots of things now, and questions. And
instead of reacting, what we're going to do is take a step back, not react.
Okay.
That's what we're going to do.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
So you ready for it?
Yes, I'm excited.
Okay. So let's see. Let's put the timer for 5 minutes. And the way we do this thing is, there we go. We sit in a posture where we feel comfortable in there, and it's like a string on top of your head, and you pull it straight up.
Okay.
And then you sit up straight, comfortable. You feel supportive. Kind of close your eyes. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And now we're going to just breathe normally. Just inhale and exhale. Now we're going to notice as our shoulders rise as we inhale, lowers as we exhale. That's all. Rises on the inhale, lowers on the exhale. We notice a slight pause as we inhale. And then we exhale. Inhale, slight pause. And we exhale. Now what we're going to do is just to quiet our body a little bit, relax our body, quiet our mind. We're going to feel any sensations that's going on in our body. We're going to start in the forehead. We're bringing attention to our face. As we soften our forehead, relax all those muscles in our forehead. We're going to relax the muscles around our eyes. Relax the muscles in our cheeks and our jaw. We'll start by just relaxing our entire face, all our facial muscles. Relax the tongue. Total softening, relaxing of your facial muscles. We're going to move down to the neck muscles. All those muscles in the neck, relax, let them go. We're going to relax the shoulder muscles, relax the shoulders, all the muscles in your shoulders. Just relax the shoulders, your arms. And now we put one hand in the other hand and just right now, we relax the body and quiet the mind. If our mind wanders, that's mindfulness. We're going to bring it back to the breath. We're going to notice any thoughts that are bothering us, anxiety moments, and just label them as anxiety, and just bring it back to the breath. Just breathe in and out. Inhale, exhale. And now what we're going to do is bring our attention to the holiday we just had. And we're going to bring to mind that one individual that really helped us out a lot. That one person that matters to us that day during the holiday. Could be a best friend, could be a spouse, could be a child, could be a pet. Because we all have animals, dog, cat, that we really enjoy being around. And we're going to visualize that animal in front of us. We're going to see that animal, that person, just be happy that they were there with us that day. And we're going to experience their joy right now. We're going to experience them being around us and them happy right now because of the job you did over Thanksgiving. And what we're going to do is just wish that person well. That's all. Wish them well by saying, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be free from suffering. Because that person meant a lot to us. And it's our holiday season and we want to experience joy. We want to wish that person well. And before we end the meditation, we're going to wish ourselves well. It's the holiday season. We want to be a little kind to ourselves. But may I be well. May I be safe. May I be healthy. May I be free from suffering this holiday season. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be free of suffering this holiday season. Okay, that was the meditation.
Great.
How'd you do?
Good, good. My mind did kind of,
Yeah.
and then I brought it back and I
Yeah.
focused on the breathing and all the positive thinking and yeah, went really good. It's the
Okay.
best I've done it.
All right, good.
Yeah, usually my mind starts to kind of
Yeah.
shopping lists
And yeah, but then you have doubt that you're doing it the right way. And
Right,
that's
right,
what it is.
that's
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah, and it's great that you mentioned just keep practicing and practicing.
Mhm.
It's like, practicing makes perfect.
Mhm.
The more you do it, I think the more you're going to be able to really focus the whole time on your breath and not let your mind wander.
Yeah.
And,
It's like going to the gym. Like going to the gym, working out every single day. It's a muscle.
Yeah.
And the more you work that muscle, your mind will always wander, but it won't wander as much. And it won't wander in areas you don't want it to wander. You have more control.
Right.
It won't wander to things that bothered you since you were 8 years old.
Right.
Because most of our thoughts are habitual.
Right.
The same thing comes
Right.
up, over and over again. With mindfulness, you are aware that, oh, there it goes again. And let me just bring my attention to something else.
Right.
See, it's a matter of bringing attention right now to something neutral.
Right.
We get to a point you can bring it to anything you want to bring it to. Instead of worrying about what happened when you get a person who didn't treat you the way you want to be treated. I'm not worried about that right now. Right now, I got more important things to do. Now to spend time with somebody who I care about, with somebody who's important to me, or my pet.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's just basically retraining your brain.
Retraining.
Yeah, just like going to the gym, like you said, but brain training, really. Yeah. Yeah, it went great. Very good. I feel very relaxed.
Okay.
I almost dozed off.
Listen, again, I bet you people who are listening right now, a lot of you dozed off and missed a lot of the stuff in the middle, and that's okay. Because again, you were in the present moment, you were aware of what's happening. You didn't push it, you don't resist the things that's happening. Just be aware it's happening, observe it, and just take a step back before you do it. So
learn to control it.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Great. And Kevin, you've been studying at UCLA, or that's where you got your training from, correct?
Yeah, 10 years now. And if you want to know more about it, there's a lot of information at UCLA Mindfulness Aware called MARC, M-A-R-C, Mindfulness Aware Research Center.
Okay.
So
go to that website.
Go to the website, but just Google it and you'll see a lot of things in there. A lot of stuff that's free too.
Okay.
A lot of stuff you can get that's paid for. A lot of free stuff.
Okay, free stuff. And there's apps I know that can help as well with meditation.
Calm is one. There's a lot of things. So that was good.
That's great. That was great.
Well, listen, great seeing you again. I'm glad you're back there and look forward to our holiday party next.
So happy to be back and glad to be here. And thank you for joining us, everybody.
Yes.
If you'd like a copy of the PowerPoint, we have some information we can share with you, which has some apps that you can visit to learn more about mindfulness and more information about mindfulness. Please send me an email to sherry.branson@amwins.com. And thank you, Kevin, for a great webinar today, for teaching me about mindfulness and everybody as well. And thank you for joining us. And we'd like to wish everybody a safe and happy holiday season from Kevin Davis Insurance. And we'll see you in 2023.
Yes, exactly. Oh,
this is our last one of 2022.
Another year coming up. Boy, listen, guys, everybody have a great new year and look forward to seeing you guys again in 2023. All right.
Great. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.